Well, I messed that up. Sorry, guys. Welcome to the Minds on a Mission podcast, the podcast where we explore the journeys that challenge us and shape us. I'm sorry, I'm already off to a bad start. Challenge us, change us, and chart the best course for our future selves. My name is Samantha Bailey. I'm a content creator and podcast host and co host. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Podbean, and Buzzsprout. And today's guest is Jordan Suber.
Hey,
I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
you did awesome job. Thanks for having me here. Super excited
I
to be here.
I had the wrong intro, but I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. How's your day today?
It's doing amazing. Been jam packed, busy all day, but cannot complain. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Been pretty busy, but excited to be on here with you tonight.
Yeah, it's
So,
been a lot of fun.
yes. So, I wanted at first you to explain a little bit about yourself. I did have it like in with the flyers and stuff, but just for people who don't know you, to explain a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, happy to. So, more about me. My name is Jordan Suber, as Samantha has said. I'm one of the top agents in the country, top 1%. I've been involved in over $1.6 billion in volume over the past few years. My team that I run is over 100 agents across 20 states and 2 countries. I'm also a best-selling author, and the list kind of goes on. I got a newborn baby as well, who's 3 months old now. And this was some context that if I can do what I'm doing right now, so can you. I was homeless off and on from 12 to 18 years old, had no direction, nothing was working for me, and now I'm blessed to have the life I have now.
That I love that. I couldn't have said that any better. That's why I was like, I'll have you explain that because I'm like, you know you best. And actually, I'm glad that you kind of brought up the homelessness because that was actually one of the first questions.
Okay.
Because I did do some research. I've seen that you've done a bunch of podcasts, and that was something that you talked about. So my first question is. Your journey in real estate began after overcoming significant hardships, including homelessness during your teenage years. How did these experiences shape your approach to real estate and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, great question. I think it's kind of like a two-part answer. Like one, being homeless from 12 to 18 really makes you appreciate real estate because like having a home, couch surfing, sleeping on frozen benches. I always wanted a home because of that fact, and I know how important it is for people to have a place to live. Like everyone in the world needs a shelter. So that was a huge, huge part for me. And then for entrepreneurship, being in that situation, it was like sink or swim. If I didn't find a way to make income or meet new people or have new connections, I'd be not here right now. So that made me really driven and ambitious to really help more people find ways to kind of serve the marketplace, find a way to make income and to add value. And nowadays, that value helping people save 5, 6 figures in buying houses or making that 5, 6 figures when they sell the house and a home, value in that point of view.
Right. Well, I love what you shared. And I can kind of relate. I for a period of time was homeless, so I
Hmm.
definitely know how that feels. And I think, like you said, it makes you more appreciative of what you have and having an actual home. And then, I love that you shared that kind of like how you grew your love for real estate is like realizing like, there's similar people that have the same problems who, also want to have a home. So that was lovely. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And you're really
Uh,
strong to get past that yourself.
what was that?
Saying you're really strong to get past that yourself. Being homeless is super hard. So
Yes.
congrats to you for making it past it.
Oh, thank you. You too. I say
Thanks.
it's always nice to like hear people have similar stories
Hmm.
because I feel like a lot of people in like my day to day, it's like I don't know. It's great to have like a connecting point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. A
Yes.
lot in common.
So my next question was real estate can be a volatile industry. Can you share a specific challenge you faced in your real estate career and how you overcame it?
Yes, I think like in real estate, you face challenges every single day, especially if you're like a top level agent. Because I'm dealing with 5, 10 transactions a day sometimes with my clients, my team, communication. I think the biggest hurdle is not actually the real estate itself; it's the people. It's finding ways to bridge that gap of that communication barrier of home is worth this much or the marketing is worth this much. How can help both people? Like today, I had an hour and a half conversation with one of my clients about like the market value, what's going on, how the appraisals works, how can we bridge that and kind of find a way to make a win-win for the buyer and for the seller. And as an agent, as a fiduciary, my number one job is more of an educator, is to teach people about real estate, about taxes, about how to avoid capital gains and how to really maximize the return or get the best deal as fast as possible. Like for context, in 2021, there was around 1,700 homes on the marketplace here in Austin, Texas. Fast forward to today, there were 15,000 homes, which is almost 10 times more. This is the most amount of homes we've seen in the past decade. That's after one time. So the people who bought homes, in 2021, they overpaid from 25 to $200,000 above asking price, and so trying to move to relocate, trying to sell in this marketplace with so many homes, it's kind of saturated. It's hard for them to get the best deal. Right now, it's mostly tailored toward buyers. You can still find good deals as a seller with that kind of marketing strategy and agents, but at the end of the day, this marketplace today is really, saturated.
Yeah, I definitely get that. And I like what you said about like the building relationships and like that's more what it's about cuz a thing I've had to learn like with my journey of like trying to learn more about things like business and stuff um is that like that's like the number one thing that like kind of locks everything is in place is building relationships. And so I really had to work on my mindset with that. So
Mhm.
I like that you talked about that. And I agree. Like if you don't feel connected with the people and like with what you're doing, like it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, yep, exactly. People is everything. Any kind of business you do, even if you're not in business, just an employee, you're still dealing with people, either from your management, from your employer, from other customers. Every single day is a people business. And for me, like the number one skill to master is people, is human psychology, is sales, negotiations, marketing. If it involves people and you master that skill set, your income, your opportunity in life is limitless.
Right. Yes. I agree with that. I just actually listened to I don't know if you've read it. It's called The Go Giver
Mm-hmm.
by Bob Berg. Yeah. I really liked that one. Because like I said, I've been really trying to work on that mindset. Because I mean, obviously, like I have a why and like wanting to help people, but obviously like the bigger thing is like, not wanting my future family to go through what I went through. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes it's like you're looking at the bigger picture and you're like, okay, wait, like I have to realize, you know what I mean, that it's going to take a while to get there and that I have to like understand how to work with people and talk with people and like really understand that. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so far, I think you're doing an amazing job at doing that. So
thank you. I'm trying. I feel like I struggle with giving myself grace sometimes because I'm so hard on myself. But
it'll take you far. I'm the same way. It's bittersweet.
yes, yes, yes. It can be rewarding when you start actually seeing like, oh, I am doing a good job. Like you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So my next question is and you could tell me this is like from what I was trying to find, but I obviously don't know if this is like up to date what I was researching. But I put you're in the top 90 out of nearly 90,000 agents at XP Realty. What do you attribute this success to, and how do you continue to innovate in such a competitive field?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, I'm top 90 as a leader within my company at EXP Realty.
EXP, okay.
Yep, 50 states, 24 countries. I'm top 1% overall from like all agents for production reasons. Number one for Lakeway, number two for Austin, number one for Spicewood, Kyle. Again, lots of accolades in terms of like my production and my team building habits. And what helps me get there the most is like one, back to people. I'm all about adding value to my clients and to my agents. So if someone joins my team, I'm gonna help teach them the skill sets it takes to make 6, 7 plus figures in a year as an entrepreneur. If it's for my sellers and my buyers, I'm gonna give them so much value that my commission means nothing to them. In terms of like, I'm gonna make you an extra 5 to 6 figures when selling your house. So for my highest I've done was over $150,000. I made my client more than the house was worth. And then on the buy side, I've saved one client $362,000 on buying a house, and it's worth 1.2 mil. So they got a huge value out from that regards. And I'm always trying to find ways to really use data as our main focal point to kind of drive that income either direction, and it also makes something super big on marketing. So I spend most of my day either marketing, finding new clients, helping new people, advertising properties, and also big part of my day fulfilling that goal as well with customer service.
Right. I like that. I had a sub thought while you were saying that. Something I've wondered is, I mean, so how would you say you get really good at knowing your numbers? Because that's something that like I like want to know how to do, because I feel like there's so many aspects of things, and like what percent you are, and like in different states and different areas. So my question is like, is that just something that happens along the way, like you just start to be good at the numbers, or is there a strategy to that, to like knowing your numbers?
Yeah, great question. So I think it kind of depends on the person. Like in the past, I was terrible with knowing numbers and tracking KPIs and all those things. And as you get more advanced in business and people and helping other people succeed, numbers is the biggest indicator of like facts. It's like,
Right.
hey, client, I'm number one for Lakeway, and here's the proof behind that. It makes it easy to kind of, trust me as a professional. So you become way more like obsessive almost on like tracking all these metrics, looking at the marketplace, seeing what other agents are doing, what's the production level, how fast did the home sell, how fast did the buyer get the home, under contract, for how much money below market value. And for us, like when I'm selling a house, I'm looking at all the data in a 1 to 5 mile radius to kind of see what's going on. And also even a larger scale on a national level to see what's going on in that stage too, and going down each level so we understand the marketplace better for my clients and for myself. And this allows us to have a big leg up. So I know, like for me, I will walk the properties beforehand to see what's actually happening in live time and help you more about my data. Now that is like a client facing strategy of data and numbers. On a business side of things, every single day and week, I just track my KPIs. I go into the dashboard, I see what am I ranking, how many homes do we sell this week or this month, how much volume did we do, what was our click through rate, what was all KPIs in terms of conversion rates. And business, you can understand your data, you can scale as big as you want to.
Got you.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've wondered that because I've been to like a few events and stuff, and I've been like, I don't know how people remember all like everybody's names, like being really good at remembering names, and then also numbers. Like that's like things I want to work on. So that's why I was kind of intrigued, like your perspective on that.
Yeah, you just gotta be immersed in it. Every single day is just like you read your data like a book. Like for me, on my wall, I have tons of stuff over there, but like I have one whole page that just KPIs to track. Like I'm tracking my conversion rates. I'm tracking my LTV, which is lifetime value of my clients. I'm tracking my ad costs. I'm tracking my scale, my ranking in the company. Because I know all these things will give me more influence, help me have more support my clients. So for us, we are really data driven, marketing focus, and client success obsessed. It's kind of called three core pillars.
I like that.
Thanks.
Um, yeah, I'm glad you shared that because I mean, I've been dying to ask somebody like I'm like how because I mean I'm intrigued by it, but I feel like I said there's so many aspects to it. But like I think you were kind of saying like along the way it just kind of becomes easier. Like you just start to just be good at constantly checking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, in the
I mean,
beginning, sorry to kind of backtrack real fast. In the beginning, for like you, people who are like new to entrepreneurship, the most important things to track is going to be your CAC rate, like how much it costs per
cost
client.
acquisition. Yeah,
Yep, what is
yeah,
that? You want to find out what is your LTV per client. So if you get one client that's worth 5K, 10K, 50K, find that number. And also, what is the payback period of that client? It's like for me in real estate, I don't see my commission for 45 to 90 days. So my payback period is super long, but my LTV of one client is 50K to $200,000, depending on the referrals and so forth. And the cost per client is $100 to $1,000. If I know those three numbers, I can run ads, I can do marketing campaigns, and I know my budget from the back end. I'm a 10x, 50x that number, and my ad budget kind of goes away.
right. That makes sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
see, I didn't know that for the longest time, but I started watching Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started learning more about this, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting because I mean, I feel like there's just a lot of things when you start out that like you don't know, and then it's kind of like there's so many avenues and everything you don't know what things to really look at. So I appreciate you sharing that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
happy to help.
My next question is you previously owned a marketing agency and now use that expertise to help realtors and investors. What are some key strategies you found most effective in marketing real estate, especially in today's digital landscape?
Yeah, great. I love that question. So for me, like my background was marketing for agents. So for me to be one myself is really easy. And when it comes to marketing homes, it's all about, having the best light to showcase the properties. So if I'm showcasing a new listing, I'm gonna not only have great photos and great videos, I'm gonna make a story behind it. Like for all my homes that I sell, I name them. Like the clubhouse or Lakeway. Like otherwise, just the house. But giving that name and that title makes it stand out even more. And then the next level from advertising, videos, we also have a huge focus on PR because PR is one of the best ways to get more credibility. And people in all day and age, if you're on TV or if you're on a magazine cover, automatically that person or that property is worth more. Same thing, nothing's changed, but that PR behind it makes it go to the next level. Like for me, I'm the host of a two-time Emmy-nominated TV show on Amazon Prime, HCTV, Apple TV, and I will showcase my homes I'm selling on my bios as well on that platform and reach over 600 million people. I have PR I use as well from Wall Street Journal, Raw Report, USA News, Maximum, the whole nine yards for even more support. So when it comes to any kind of marketing, it always comes down to like how many eyeballs can you get in front of? Because attention in this day and age is a new currency.
Yeah, that makes sense. That I feel like there's just so much I need to learn. I'm just like I've been looking a little bit into that because I was looking at kind of ways to like elevate my podcast. So I was kind of looking into PR. Um, but that's something like I need to learn more about, kind of what strategies to use or just kind of what avenue I want to go.
Yeah, in the beginning, like for me now, like I'm on Wall Street Journal, I'm on American Dream TV, these big platforms. But like 10 years ago, I was not on any of those platforms because I wasn't doing enough yet. So it's kind of like
Right.
a catch 22. I get more advanced and like more successful in your industry, you get more opportunities for bigger PR and bigger pieces and bigger opportunities like that.
Yes.
But in the beginning, you can still find ways to kind of fast track that. You can pay for if you want to. You can pay for USA News. You can pay for Wall Street Journal to talk about you. You can pay to be on podcasts like this with high level people. That way helps you get more credibility quicker. And then you can use that credibility to kind of like fast track that success and have more attention for you too.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I've been looking too because I've been kind of like scared to go on other people's podcasts because I've been like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. Like, I feel like I don't have enough like expertise of anything to share. But I mean, I signed up for some. I'm just pushing myself to do it anyways, even though I'm like, you know, because I feel like that's the only way for me to really, I don't know, grow.
Yeah. Nothing good happens within a comfort zone. You have to be pushing yourself every single day to be uncomfortable, being more platforms. And again, what I learned early on is like you need to be one step ahead of the people watching you. Only one step ahead. So you having a podcast, 99% of people have no clue how to do this, how to make a podcast, how to talk to people, how to ask questions. Right there alone, you have way more value to add to people than you think you do.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, I have, even though I feel like I haven't learned a lot, I feel like I have because I mean, I do think I've, especially like in like mental growth, like just doing a lot of changes to my life. So I definitely think that's something I could talk about. I did sign up, like I said, for a couple of them. So we'll see. New things coming.
Can't wait to see them.
Thank you. Um, so let's see. The next question I have on here is you've successfully built a strong personal brand in real estate. What advice would you give to others looking to establish their own brand in this industry?
Yeah. So kind of to backtrack to the whole PR thing, it's like I'm always trying to find ways to break records when I'm selling houses, helping my clients from saving them $300,000+. Like, excuse me, I broke a record in a 5 mile radius of a house before. So like the home I sold outperformed every single home in a 5 mile radius and all the agents too. So those kind of stories allows me to have more credibility, have a bigger brand. And of course, be on podcasts, publishing a best-selling book called Real Estate Secrets. This goes on. I'm just trying to find ways to kind of, build up my story and have more assets. And in the beginning, I would do podcasts. I would write blog posts. I would, add value as much as I could to other people. Because a brand is what people say about you when you're not there. That's what a brand is. How can I find a way to add more value? My reputation is my brand. So like my Instagram page, my pin post is my TV show I'm part of. It is my background, my story, my production, my ranking, and then it's also who am I? I'm adding that story about that stuff. So you first start off making a brand for yourself. Is you gonna find a position to make yourself look as credible as possible and have high-end photos, high-end videos, have good connections, and articulate a good value proposition to people as well. And by doing all those things together, your brand would be more cohesive.
I like that. I feel like that's really good. I think that yeah, branding is very important. So that's why I kind of wanted to ask that, like your opinion on that, like what steps to take, because I know there's a lot of people that are where I was a few years ago, and it's like how do I start and what things are important. So I
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that.
There you go. I think branding is everything in all day and age. It's like Steve Jobs gave an interview when he first started off, and he had no credibility other than founding Apple. And he was sick and tired, and he threw up his first time. It was terrible. But his next time, Apple was worth $1 billion, and that was his brand. Because he became so credible, people got behind him. So if a strong brand, no matter what you're doing, you get more clients, more success, more results by building that up as fast as possible. So about adding more value, adding testimonials, and, collecting stories almost.
Right. And the thing I love about like where we are now is that like it's you as a person, like that's the branding and that's what's most important, which like is super exciting because it's like, you know what I mean, you get to share things that you wanted to create anyways, and then you know what I mean, it
Hmm.
it's a lot more personable than it used to be, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I agree. It's changing the whole industry. Like The Rock is a billionaire because of his brand.
Right, yes.
And that would never been possible 20 years ago. Like you were saying, like your personal brand is so powerful nowadays. And as an agent, my personal brand is everything because I am the brand. I am the business owner and so forth. And so are you. So having that mindset moving forward makes it easier to kind of build that brand as you go.
Right. um For my next question, I wanted to ask, what current trends in the real estate market do you think are most important for new agents to watch? And how do you adapt to these trends in your own business?
Yeah, so like new trends to watch is obviously going to be interest rates. Is what's happening right now with elections, with the Fed, and so forth. Because every interest point that drops in rates, another 5 to 6 million buyers enters the marketplace. And when that happens, people think that home would be less expensive because the points dropped. But what actually happens is with all these new buyers there, it pushes the price up higher. And as more competition, and as above asking price, and you're overpaying for properties more often than not when that happens. And for us, I'm just obsessed over data. I'm looking at comps, I'm walking homes, I'm calling other agents, talking to my team, trying to see what's going on in live time in the marketplace to kind of keep a good pull on that. So if you're a new agent or any agent, you should be super obsessed with your current marketplace. You should know what homes are selling for, how fast they're selling, why they're not selling. Is two-story better? Is one-story better? Is luxury more desirable right now? Or flips more desirable right now? You should know the marketplace at the back of your hand. Like for me, I know every facet of real estate in Greater Austin and more, but I know that flips are selling crazy fast because they're hard to find in this area. So it's all about understanding the data place. You can understand the data, you understand what's going on, understand interest rates and so forth. You can always kind of be ahead of the curve.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. And I feel like I had like a side question along with that. So if you were a new agent, would could you kind of walk through the process you would take now if you were a new agent, like how to get into it, what kind of things to really look out for?
Yeah, so like in terms of like getting business or like just being in the industry.
Like if you wanted to get into real estate and start like looking at properties and stuff, like how what kind of process would you go through?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give two answers. One is gonna be super short and sweet. Is the easiest way to do this. Is you find a team leader who's really good at what they do, and you join their team. And by doing that, you want to pay them a split to be on that team, but they're gonna teach you, mentor you, do open houses with you, the whole 9 yards. You can learn firsthand what's going on. Like for me, I did not do that. I did my own thing. I made my own team, and it's way more work. You gotta learn by yourself, kinda. No one's gonna help you. So what I did is I did open houses every single weekend. I cold called. I knocked on doors. I made video content. I talked to top producing agents at that time, asked them for advice. I watched podcasts like these, read books, you name it. My first 2 3 years of doing real estate, I worked 100 plus hour weeks every single week, no days off for the first 3 years. That's all I did was just do real estate. So did my wife. So both of us working together, head down in a small little apartment. That's all we did was real estate. And by doing that, we were able to do, 10,000 hours of learning in a 3 year or 2 year time period, making us experts at our profession. And now my business is we're doing 6 figures a month of profit. And that did not happen overnight, but it takes time to get to that point. It all comes down to this knowing the marketplace, do open houses, adding value, talking to people, and trying to build that brand as you grow.
That was a
So,
good rundown. I like
thanks.
that.
So, action steps: get your license, do open houses, knock on every single door in the area, promote the open house, call them afterwards when the open houses ended, get new clients that way, keep it the same exact process over and over again, and also make video content of the open house as well for that brand to be built for you too. Do those things together within 3 to 6 months, you can make 6 figures as a new agent.
Right. That's awesome. I I really was intrigued like what your thoughts are because I know the thing that's like kind of hard for like a lot of new people is there's nowadays there's so many things out there, some, you know what I mean? And so, with your success and stuff, I just wanted you to share like what you would do and what you think like works, cuz I know sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out like, oh, what should I do, like how do I start, that's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people want to know that, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest hang up I see with most agents, again, I've coached thousands of agents across the country, and they get so focused on content. Content is amazing. But the problem with content marketing is the passive activity. If I make a video, I cannot guarantee I'll get anybody talking to me after watching it. But if I'm proactive, which is cold DMs, cold emails, open houses, cold calling, cold door knocking, all those things are active marketing strategies. They're old school, but they work so effectively because I'm talking to you one on one.
Mm,
And the name of the game is how can I meet more people? Real estate is a contact sport. Any business is a contact sport. If I would have known that 10 years ago, I would be where I'm at now 10 years ago, like within a couple of years. Because it's all about how can I meet more people every single day. So my
right.
goal to this day is to meet 100 people every single day.
That's I love that.
Thanks.
um that's yeah, that was a question that I was wondering about because like I said, I know a lot of people have a hard time like figuring out, so I think it's cool to share, like, kind of cut out all the extra noise because like you said, it's easy to get distracted into other things, and then, so I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, happy I can help.
The next question I have is, you often speak about the importance of mindset in achieving success. How do you cultivate a winning mindset, and how has it contributed to your achievements in real estate?
Yeah, I think mindset is everything. Like in all my books, all my courses, the first section is always mindset. So I know without a good mindset, it doesn't matter if I give you the keys to the kingdom, it won't work if you don't understand the mindset part of that. So for me, I like to have a holistic lifestyle. So like I wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock every single day, Monday through Sunday. The first 5 minutes of my day, I read my kind of like my journal that showcases what my goals are, where am I going, what I've done so far to remind myself how good I am. Because you were saying before, having that being tough on ourselves kind of can bog on us. So I remind myself every single morning what I've done, what I've achieved so far, where am I going, and then the kind of like my mission statement is. And then from there, I'll read 10 pages of a book, or watch a quick video about motivation or business and so forth. Kind of make my mindset correct in the beginning of the day. Then I go to the gym, and then from there onwards, I'm just working head down, doing those things. But don't think just by doing one small action you have a perfect mindset. It took me most of my life, being homeless from 12 to 18. My mindset obviously was really scarcity as a kid. I had no direction, nothing was working for me, and I'd read hundreds of books about psychology, about personal development, from Jim Rohn, from Carl Sagan, from all gurus and psychologists and scientists even about the human mind and they cultivate a strong growth mindset. Most people have fixed mindsets where it's like, oh, I can't do this, or I can't afford this. But instead, it's how can I do this? How can I afford this? What can I change? So for me, I only spend 10% of my time on problems and 90% of my time on solutions. And by doing that, I become more optimistic. I'm more solution focused. My mindset can be more enhanced because of that too.
I like that. I'm sorry if I sometimes say the same thing, but I really do like everything that you're sharing. I appreciate it because it is super helpful. And yeah, that kind of reminded me of something, a video I had watched from someone I looked up to. I don't remember exactly how he said it, but it was something like if you spend like an hour a day on negativity, like it cuts down your success by like 25 times. It was something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, yeah, that was strong because that is very true. And then a lot of people kind of, it's easy to get wrapped up into it, all the problems. It's harder to see the bright side in life, but I like what you said because it's like choosing not to focus on that and only limiting time, because I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like a balance, like trying to find a way, like, okay, I'm allowing myself a little bit of time to get this out, but I'm not gonna focus on it. So
Yeah, exactly. I think you're spot on. It's like once you know the problem, great, you know the problem. Now let's solve it. And like for me, like I don't watch news, I don't gossip, I don't do any of those things. I'm just like head down, my family, my clients, my friends, and business. That's all I focus on. Because at the end of the day, no one's gonna save us but ourselves. We are
right.
our own superhero. You gotta make sure we're always trying to grow and adapt every single day. And as you become more successful, your mindset will be more adapted as well. Like when I was brand new doing business, I had no success. I had no accolades. So my mindset was not backed by anything. But as you do more things, become more successful, more battle hardened, you have some mindset that, oh wow, I done this, this, and this already. I can do this too.
Yes, I agree. That's that's really good. And then I kind of had a thought while we were talking. Um, you were talking about how you like have a morning routine and how you
Mm-hmm.
start off your day. I kind of was wondering, like, um your thoughts on, like, when you were first starting, was there a way you were able to find a balance between, trying to do all these things like door knocking, cold calling, and all these things, and also finding time to get up? Like, because you said now you get up that early, but I wasn't sure if back then, like, still have allocating time for that. Like, was there a way you were able to find a balance, or?
Yeah, I think it's all about saying no and cutting out everything that does not promote your goals. Like in business, there's five things that matter in business. Only five. If you do these five things, you'll be successful in any business that you do. Number one is going to be helping your current clients. Number two is marketing and driving traffic. Number three is going to be doing sales presentations with buyers and sellers or your clients. Number four, getting testimonials. Number five is working on yourself and your business. Those are the only five things that really matter in business. So 2, 3 years ago, 5 years ago now, when I did my business, I was about 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. Now I'm up even earlier for my new baby. But back then it was 5 o'clock. From 5 until 7 was me. So it's me reading books, meditating, going to the gym. Because most people, they will kind of like form their entire lives around the business. And you don't want to do that. I want to form my business around my life. Because it's more holistic. You won't get burnt out. So the first 2 hours of my day is just me. And then from 7 at that time, now 6 until noon, it's prospecting, it's marketing, it's finding new clients. Noon to 1, I eat my family, have lunch, walk my dog, and so forth, or clients. From 1 to 3 o'clock, I'm down doing client meetings, helping my clients, doing sales presentations, doing walkthroughs, showing properties, and so forth. From 4 until 5, I'm now doing like my follow up, my deep, heavy work. 5 to 6, I mean, then with my family again. And then from 6 to like 7, it's follow back. What did I miss for that day? Who need to talk to? Did I miss anything? And do those things. And then from 7 until 9 is my time again. My me, myself, and my family. By having that super strict schedule, one, I'm always being productive for the most part, and I'm also not getting burnt out. And by having all these things together, my day I can achieve more than most people do in a week in one single day. And I think it's really, really a skill to learn focus. Like for me, when I'm working from 7 to noon, my phone is turned off. It's over on the side. I have one thing open. I'm just doing that. Because most people, they'll spend, 5 minutes checking emails, then checking Facebook, and then doing a phone call. And your focus breaks every time you do that. And with that deep focus. So I spend all my time talking to one person, making a new video, doing this, doing a CMA, running data. And by doing just that one thing, I can achieve more in that couple hours spread people doing the whole day.
I appreciate you sharing that because I feel like that's something I've been struggling with, which is kind of why I wanted to know like your thoughts on that because that is one thing, yeah, definitely I'm trying to work on is limiting distractions. I've gotten a lot better, but I still have some things I need to cut out. And then just kind of, yeah, like you said, I find myself especially lately like kind of being burnt out, and that's why I kind of want to know because kind of was putting on things like working out and stuff on the back burner, and it's like I want to get back to having that because I was trying to do the same thing, getting up at 4 before I go to work because I still work a 9 to 5, and having my mean time and then doing working on my other stuff later, but I've trying to find a balance so I'm not feeling burnt out and still getting all those things in because I haven't been. So that's why I kind of wanted to know like your advice for that, like how to have a balance
Mm-hmm.
and not get burnt out because definitely been feeling it lately. I've been super tired.
Yeah, it's tough to have balance. And again, I think having your whole work around your life is a more holistic approach behind that. And then just make sure if you're tired one day, take off. It's okay. If you're working, like for me, I work 7 days a week. Every single day I'm working a little bit. Some days my work 2 hours. Other days my work 15 hours. It kind of depends on my day. I'm gonna do it best for my body and for my mindset. And like the gym is like a byproduct. It's two things. One, going to the gym is good for you to be more productive, be healthy. Health is wealth. And then two, by going to the gym, it makes you more efficient at your business, at your job. So like
Right.
for me, everything I do, it feeds into each other.
Yeah, I like that. I think too it's I'm just so ready for the jump of like not having to work a 9 to 5, and you know what I mean, because I definitely think at first it is a lot trying to do and still work a regular job, but I really
Mm-hmm.
think I'm just gonna, like you said, work on cutting out those distractions completely and just like really focusing because I would love to get out of the 9 to 5. That's my goal. I've got a lot, but yeah, so I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, I believe
um
in you. And what helps me is like on my phone, I have an app that blocks social media from like this time to this time. On my computer, I can't see my timeline on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. So if I go to that platform, it's blank. I see nothing but my own posts. So okay, I'm bored of this. Back to business. So it's basically really easy to like, if I remove distractions, it makes it really hard to get to them. But being productive is super easy. But nothing else to do. I'm bored. I want to be productive now. And as you get more successful, my phone rings all day. So I'm having more stuff to do. And finding downtime is now like the new goal. Like, how can I make time on this day to see my family, to go to the Four Seasons, to do X, Y, and Z? And having a nighttime routine has been more important for me than a daytime routine.
Yeah, like kind of just decompressing at the end of the day. I get that. I
Mm-hmm.
have like um I have some things I want to work on for my nighttime routine because I have one, but I'm still stuck in the like feeling like it's a chore, and I'm trying to get out of that, like thoroughly enjoying my me time. Um so yeah, I'm trying to work towards that too, like enjoying downtime and not feeling like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's not a forever thing too. Like, if you're like trying to quit your job, but you're watching trying to become a successful entrepreneur, in the beginning, it won't be balanced. Like, my first, 2-3 years like really doing business, I worked every hour of the day. Like, worked out and I worked all day long. There was no balance. Like, that's all I did was work. Now I have balance, but I'm also a millionaire. Like, I've got to the point where I have team members, I have staff, I have a huge business. I can be balanced. In the beginning, you say to yourself, I want to quit my job in 6 months. How much action will it take me to do that? And how can I slow down from 6 months to 3 months and work like a crazy person for those 3 to 6 months? Replace your job with your new business, and then from there, try to find balance. Because no one you see who's super successful, like Alex Mosey, Grant Cardone, all these people, they did not have balance when they first started off. Some of them don't have balance now because it takes a lot to build a business.
Mm.
But
That
it's
that
not
makes
forever.
that makes me feel better cuz yeah, I feel like I was like over stressing stuff, and like having problems of like making excuses, and then, and I kind of cut down on that, and so I've been like doing like side jobs, like cleaning gigs and stuff. So like that's why I said like now I'm more tired, but then still wanting to fit in time to work out cuz I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to focus on my health. So it's kind of like it's not gonna be as balanced, but I could still do it. Like I could still make time, but just trying to like shift it around is a little difficult. But
It's definitely a learning curve. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, adapt every single day. Again, trying to be holistic as possible is key. Work out, eat healthy, go to bed at the same time every single night, wake up at the same time every single day, be productive. All those things helps, but you add in knowing that's not a forever thing, but for a season or for a time, makes it easier for you to say, okay, right now I'm tired. Right now this is hard. But that hard what gets you the success that you need.
yeah, I appreciate that because yeah, I feel like I've been kind of hard on myself. I'm like, oh, um, so I do have a couple more
Yeah,
questions. I know we're kind of
all
nearing the
good.
hour mark, but I had like a whole list of stuff I put down. So, I put you're passionate about helping others find success in real estate. Can you share some of the key lessons you impart to your mentees and how mentoring has impacted your own career?
Yeah, so for my mentees and people I help, my clients, I think real estate is the number one asset on the planet, at least besides businesses. Businesses makes you more money, but real estate makes you more wealth, depending on how you play the game. Now, real estate is amazing because, like, if I buy one house, I can put down a first time home buyer 3.5% to buy this house. So this house costs us 200K. I give them $14,000. I can now control a piece of real estate that's worth over 300K. And I give them 14K. So you just like had a huge, 30x increase. So like your net worth if you count for, your equity. Now what's nice is though, they say this house is worth $300,000 year one, but on year two, the house is worth $400,000. You just made $100,000 in free money by just holding this property. From there, this one gets super exciting. My one house I had, I can pull out the equity of 7% of that 100K or whatever house you have in there, and now I can buy two properties or one more property year two. So now I went from one home to two homes. Year three, these two homes buy me two more homes. Now I have four homes. Year four, I have eight homes. Year five, I have 16 homes from one house. This house becomes your bank. So that's why I think real estate is just the easier way to make wealth because you can really scale to millions of dollars of assets super quickly. And before long, you start doing single family homes, you start buying complexes or 16 units. And that kind of goes back to the other question of how has mentorship helped me? Knowing these kind of skill sets, knowing these kind of strategies have saved me, decades of learning headaches and so forth. Last year alone, I invested $60,000 for a mentor. For one mentor, $60,000, and another 40K on top of that to run ads, to buy other stuff, to grow the business. So 100K in 1 year to learn a skill set called marketing, advertising, data, and branding. And now my brand is super large. I can do more things, more people because of that, investment. So buying mentorship, getting coaches, and so forth is a way to condense time to learn skills quicker and fast track your success as quickly as possible. In the beginning, it's books, it's podcasts. I read books like a religion as a kid and growing up, and by doing that, I can learn these skills, help more people, become more successful, and then pass on my knowledge to my clients and to my mentees.
That makes sense. And yeah, I feel like I've heard like that's like a really important thing like in excelling your growth is like because I feel like a lot of people think that they have to do it by themselves. But
Mm-hmm.
then, like once you realize like, yeah, I do need help and like actually getting that, like it excels your growth so much. But I do know at first like that is a thing a lot of people worry about, myself included, like, oh, how can I afford a mentorship? A lot of things are expensive. Well, expensive, but in the long run it's worth it. But you know what I mean? A lot of money is a big issue for people.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Well,
like
I
that.
think. Mm-hmm.
No, you.
I think it's more like it's expensive to afford one, but it's more expensive not to afford one.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Like for me, when I was starting off, I used to spend $100 for a coach, and $100 now it's like I spend that on a PDF just to kind of funnel hack them. It's like nothing, but back then it was a lot of money, and like you shouldn't expect to like spend $100,000 in a year day one. It's going to be progressive. In the beginning, again, I think books, podcasts, YouTube videos are super important. I will have a caveat to this though. You probably know more than enough right now, you watching this, to make $1 million business today. It's not a knowledge thing. It's more a volume thing. If you talk to 1,000 people in the next 12 months and you offer them a service for $100, $1,000, $10,000, I can guarantee you by the time you got to that 1,000th person, you've made six figures or more, maybe even seven figures. You'd be so dialed in your sales skills, your marketing skills, and stuff like that. You can grow even quicker. Later on, having mentors again is key. Help you fast track your success, but the mentorship is two parts. It's one, the knowledge, the shortcuts, the self belief that you invested so much money in yourself. And the other part is going to be the connections you make. I met people making seven figures a day in that program. And that helped me think, wow, this is possible. I can do this too. That's amazing. It's also more self belief. So it's not just education, it's education, who you hang out with, who you're learning from, self belief. All these things add up. But in the day, like making six figures, seven figures is all about understanding like I need to talk to X amount of people and offer them X service. If I do this enough times, my business will grow. Learn way more doing that. And let's go back to my mentees again. It does help to have someone to help you. I had someone on my team for 6 months. She did zero production for 6 months at a different brokerage. She left that brokerage and she joined me. Within 60 days, she made $250,000.
Wow.
So 6 months, nothing happened. 60 days, she worked with us. I helped her do skill sets. But what I taught her is talk to these many people, say this kind of script, and do this kind of service, which is real estate. And by doing that, she made a lot of money. So it's like the easy tweak to understanding how to help people and grow your business is just talk to more people.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Like I like that you shared that, and I think it's sometimes hard to kind of figure out like what value, you know what I mean? Cuz like for me, I have a lot of things I'm interested in, but then trying to figure out like what value I could provide now. Like I am doing the podcast, but it's not a service that people pay for. So it's like kind of how do I, you know what I mean? Trying to figure that out cuz I want to do real estate investing, but like I'm trying to figure out ways to make money to put
Mm-hmm.
in. So that's why I'm like trying to figure out some things and doing like these side things because it's like I'm very interested, but obviously you have to have money to put in. So
Yes, no, they always buy houses without money, just for clarity. But some context about real estate. When you buy real estate, especially for like long term investments, it's not for money, it's for wealth.
right,
So, no, so like most people, when they buy real estate, they think, oh, I'm gonna buy real estate and make all this money and cash flow. Like every home you own makes you $100, $200 per door in profit. So it takes somebody 100 properties to make enough money to really retire themselves. Or at least 20 properties if they're like high income. The power of real estate is taking out the equity to buy more properties and have more wealth and use those equities and refinances to kind of pay for your lifestyle and to do more things if you're being like mindful and like, not over risk tolerance when you're doing that. In the beginning, like for this kind of service podcast, I know people who've grown their podcast to millions of people, and the money they make is by having to pay to be on podcasts, or from having affiliates, or having sponsorships, or selling a product on the back end through that podcast, and
right.
having income as well from it too.
Yeah. Like I know you can make money from it. I just meant like what I'm doing right now. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which ways to go through. I have been kind of thinking like I know you could kind of get like form an email list and then like
Mm-hmm.
whatever I decide like doing it that way cuz like you said that stuff works kind of old school, but like having a list. So yeah, it's definitely been something I've been trying to like kind of think cuz like I said, I do struggle too with like the scarcity mindset. And so like I've kind of been like, what do I do to start into real estate investing? Because like I'm interested, but I just kind of been like, I'm not sure which way to go or like how to start, like how much money I need to have, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Because I do have that scarcity of like I don't want to, you know what I mean, put myself into a risky situation. So it's kind of like trying to figure things out.
Yeah, hey, for real estate, the thing to ask yourself is like, what is your goal in real estate investing? Is your goal to have a huge net worth, or your goal is to make a lot of money? Because
Right.
two different kind of ways to do it. If it's net worth, I'm buying properties, I'm using equity and 1031 exchanges to buy more properties, be a huge empire. If my goal is to make a lot of money, I'm gonna be selling houses as an agent. I'm gonna be flipping houses as a flipper, so a wholesaling. So you can buy a house with no money at all. You can wholesale it and make $10 to $200,000 with no money down. Or my clients I have for flipping properties, they'll buy a house with no money of their own, not $1 of their own money, and they'll buy this house with hard money. They will rehab the house. So buy for, let's say $100,000 you bought the house at. They rehab it for 50K, sell for $300,000. They just made 50K to $100,000 with no money out of pocket.
Right. And how would you do that? Like take money from the bank or like
Yeah, so it's called a hard money loan. So like you find people who have, like pretty much private equity almost. Like, hey, I want to buy this house. It's full flip. Here's my credit score. Here's what the house is going to be projected to be at, my ARV, my after repair value. And you find someone like me who can bring you properties. So I bring you this house. It costs $100,000, and we say, hey, I'm gonna buy the house for $80,000. I'm gonna put in 50K that the hard money lender gave to me. That's their job. Easy to find them. Type in hard money loans in your Google Drive, and you'll find it. It's everywhere. Do that. You then buy the property with the hard money loan. You close. You have 90 days to 120 days to fix the property up. You will then use the loan to pay for the contractors and to pay for the repairs, and then you sell it once it's all done and rehabbed. And now this home that costs 100K, now worth $300,000. 91 profits came out of that. You then flip the house, sell it for 300K. You pay off the hard money loan, and you pay off the contractors, and what's left is your profit. So you made 50K for, let's say, easy math there. And now you can use that 50K to use your own money now to buy a house. And then you can do the same kind of profit margins with the hard money to pay for the construction, to pay for the contractors. Now you made 80K. Do that again. Now it's all your money. You more, more, and more. You kind of scale up that way. How it's active income, but it's high profit margins. And it's no money down.
right. Yeah. I would definitely have a lot to learn. That's my biggest thing too is like I want to be good at like knowing terms and stuff cuz I've learned some but I'm like I don't know, I just want to be a master at it. So, definitely something I'm like working towards and figuring that out.
Yeah,
Um
there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate in any kind of business. It's its own little language. Like wholesaling is a kind of sketchy way to do real estate. But like let's say you find a property that someone's selling and they want 50K for it or 100K for it, and you can buy that property for $100,000, and then you sell that property to somebody else for $150,000. And then when you close, you can do a double blind close as a wholesale deal, and the buyer paid for your 100K and gave you $50,000. That's no money out of your pocket at all. It's way quicker, way easier to do. And when I started investing in real estate, that's what I did like 7, 8, 9 years ago. So like that's how I got started doing real estate too. So like there are tons of ways to make money in real estate. It depends on if it's active or if it's passive. Passive, you can scale that. You can make big wealth numbers. Use the equity to buy more properties to fund your life if you want to. Whereas flipping and wholesaling is more active, but you make way more money up front.
right. Yeah, and I've heard like kind of what you talked about earlier with like having one house and then taking that and then getting another one like cuz I don't know, you know Chris Crone, but
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I went to his event last year and that's kind of what he's talking about is like that's how he got started and then he scaled to 25 homes and then in like 5 years or something. So yeah, definitely a great way to. But obviously, it's like which way is like better with starting out because obviously it's kind of like what kind of
Mm-hmm.
risks you want to take. You know what I mean?
I think the best way to start doing investing in real estate is to do FHA loan, probably a 2 or 3K, because there's two kind of loans, 2 or 3B and 2 or 3K. A 2 or 3K loan will even loan you the difference to rehab the house. And I would buy a duplex. So I would say, hey, I'm going to put down 3.5%. I'm going to negotiate with the sellers to pay for my closing costs. So right now it's a buyer's market and they're desperate to sell the house. So I'm going to ask off 30K on the back end, not off the ask price, but on the back end, like a concession to pay for my closing costs. I'm going to give the people 5, 10K for my closing costs and the difference that already there. And And then I have two properties now. I'm gonna live in one side. I'm gonna lease at the other side after I rehab the house, and now you live for free, or you're paying $100 a month or $200 a month, and you're pretty much breaking even. And the biggest expense that you have for most people is the rent or the mortgage. So I went from doing $3K a month for my mortgage to paying $200 a month for my mortgage. Great, I just made $3,000 in a way, and I have a house now. Then 1 year from now, Chris Curran did. I can use that equity to buy more properties. I can upgrade my lifestyle every time I do the same thing. That's the easiest way to get into real estate investing is house hacking a duplex or a quadplex.
Oh, yeah, I got some learning to do, and yes, I definitely I appreciate you sharing that because, like I said, I've kind of struggled in like which way to start. Like it's so that's why I said there's so many things, and then it's like there's so many different ways you could go about it. But I really like what you shared because yeah, I think either that or like the house because like yeah, Chris Crone did similar thing, but he got a house and then he I think he it was the basement or something. He rented
Mm-hmm.
out the basement.
Yep.
So yeah, very similar. Like just finding ways to kind of lower that cost and then finding ways to scale it. So yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an amazing game. If you need help, let me know. I'll be happy to answer questions for you. But yeah, I think the best way is do an FHA loan or a multifamily house because you can do an FHA loan from a 1 to 4 unit place for the first time.
Hmm.
And normally it's 20% for down payments. So you just saved 16.5, 17.5, 16.5% on buying a house that way.
Right. Yeah, I knew a little bit about that, like the first time buyer thing, but
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I've been kind of there's so much to real estate. It's like it's a lot, and then it's like trying to figure out, like you said, like to minimize and like figure out ways to like excel my growth. You know what I mean? Like minimize all these distractions and like going down different paths and just trying to find like okay, this is what I think is gonna work, and then you know what I mean? Because like you said, like I appreciate you sharing how you would do it because you are very successful in this. So it's like good to hear your advice.
Thank you. I'm happy I can help out. Yeah, I think if anything, it's just so many moving parts and it's hard to know what to do. It's not what real estate is though. It's like in most things that you do, like in business especially, no one's gonna help you build your business. Like unless you hire them. But in real estate is you can hire someone like me who's an agent and I will do the numbers for you. I will find the house for you. I will help you find a tenant for the house, help you manage the property and so forth. And like in real estate, it's really easy to find people to work for you and cost nothing in the pocket because all at closing.
Hmm. I know we're kind of over the hour mark. I could keep talking, but is there anything else you want to share? Anything, any projects or anything you've got going on?
Biggest projects is this for helping people buy and sell houses and helping all 50 states and 24 countries. My team's one of the top teams in the entire country. I've done 1.6 plus billion dollars in volume for my team as well, and helping real estate investing from house hacking to flipping to investing long term to selling, buying, the whole 9 yards, commercial real estate. Happy to help anyone we can, and then I also have a best-selling book about real estate marketing as well. If you need that kind of support too.
Awesome. And could you share with us where people can find you? What websites, links, all of that?
Yeah, so you can find me pretty much anywhere. Jordan Super, type in my name. Again, I'm a host of a two-time Emmy-nominated TV show called American Dreams. You can watch me on there. Watch me on YouTube. I add new content every single day about real estate, investing, the whole 9 yards. I'm most active on Instagram. So you want to find me on just Jordan Super / realtor. I'm there as well. I reach millions of people pretty much every single week on Instagram with my main platform.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I'll try to get all those linked in with this as well so people can find it easier. But just wanted you to share that. And for me, you can pretty much find me looking Sam B Daily Motivation on Instagram. Look up Samantha Bailey on Facebook, and then I think on TikTok it's also Sam B Daily Motivation. I'm not as active on those, but I usually post. I post most on Facebook, so that's probably the best way to reach out to me. Yeah, so I appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing all of your tips and stuff with everybody, sharing your experiences. I know a lot of people are gonna appreciate this episode, so I know I did.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a blast talking to Samantha. I think you're amazing. And I wait to see what you do in the future. You're totally gonna crush it. And for these watching right now, just know that you just keep on moving forward. You will achieve your dreams. The beginning is super hard. If I can go from being homeless from 12 to 18 to now I'm married by 30. By 30 now I'm 32. You need to think for your mind take so much more.
I love that. Sharing the inspiration and motivation. If he could do it, you could do it.
It's true.
Well, thank you guys. I don't have an intro because everything got all messed up. Bear with me, I'm learning. So, all right, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.